Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081 063 41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring
This is Atlantic Television Network. Welcome to Global News at 9 p.m. First, the highlights. Rivers State Assembly inaugurates newly elected lawmakers. Senate orders CBN to supervise financial technology sector. Reps orders BOI's appearance warns against absence. FEC approves asset company to fix transmission. President demand apology from Iran over drone strikes. CAF postpones WAFCON 2026 tournament to July. Politics is service, not career, actor Oworu. Lagos State House of Assembly has officially inaugurated Napoleon Ukaleke and Henrietta Dinebari Lolu as members of the House. The inauguration took place on Thursday in Port Harcourt at the Assembly Chambers, Ukaleke representing Ahuda East Senate State Constituency 2, while Lolu is representing Kana State Constituency 2, and both were elected in the February 21-26 by-elections. The by-elections were conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to fill vacancies in the State Assembly and restore full legislative representation for the affected constituencies, and both lawmakers secured their seats under the platform of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Police Service Commission, PSC, in collaboration with the Nigeria Police Force, the fiscal and credentials screening exercise for applicants in the ongoing recruitment of 50,000 police constables into the Nigeria Police Force. A statement signed by the Police PPRO River State CSP Grace Iringokoko said all candidates who successfully completed the online recruitment registration are informed that the screening exercise is scheduled to take place from 9 March 2026 to 18 April 2026 in River State. Applicants are advised to log into the official recruitment portal to check the application status and print the following documents, which must be presented at the screening venue on the date and time indicated on their invitation slip, which include guarantor's form, application submission slip, invitation slip, credential screening form, and fiscal screening form. The statement said the required documents for screening candidates must present the following items at their designated screening centers: at the invitation slip with assigned table indicated, credential screening form, original national identity number, name, printouts or national ID card issued by NIMC, O-level GCE and SSC certificate, birth certificate or declaration of age, local government area state of origin and certificate, trade tests and certificates for specialist applicants only. Applicants are to come also with duly completed and signed guarantors form with photocopies of referees' valid identification and attached passport photographs, as well as original and duplicate copies of all credentials, neatly packaged in 2 separate white flat files, each with recent passport photographs attached. Applicants are required to appear at screening venue Alfred DSP Civic Center, Moscow Road, dressed in white canvas shoes, white t-shirts, white shorts, and white. The Commissioner of Police River State Command, CP Olubenga Adeboju, wishes all the shortlisted applicants a successful screening exercise and further assures that the general public that the statutory entry requirements into the force, as clearly stated in the Police Acts and regulations, will be followed thoroughly. They stopped by the rate of vandalism of most of the projects already completed in Bayelsa State. The Niger Delta Development Commission has called on host communities in the state to protect the Commission's projects against theft and vandalism. The Commission expressed regret that many of its completed projects have been stolen or destroyed by members of the host communities. Speaking at the one-day capacity building engagement program for stakeholders in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, the State Director, God knows, Alemyeye Siega, represented by Obota Victor, Principal Manager, Project Monitoring Department, decried what he described as a disturbing pattern of vandalism affecting projects delivered by the Commission. The Director of Peace and Development Projects and lead consultant, Mr. Francis Abayomi, said the program is designed to mobilize inclusive engagement towards enhancing the development initiative of the Niger Delta Development Commission for optimal benefits of the community and the people. Abayomi appreciated participants for their time and expressed optimism that the knowledge shared as well as interactive engagement provided through the initiative will help promote awareness and help to raise consciousness regarding mutual responsibilities in the protection of projects and facilities of the NDDC. Senator Desiree K. Dixon, representing Bayelsa West, has defected from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the newly registered Nigeria Democratic Congress, NDC. The former governor of Bayelsa State declared his decision during a media briefing in Abuja on Thursday, adding that the irreconcilable differences in the PDP shrunk its umbrella, which could no longer accommodate many members, including himself. He also said the PDP has lost its voice on national issues, saying the leadership also crippled the party totally, stressing that the NDC, which was recently registered by the Independent National Electoral Commission, will now be the desired opposition party in the country. He enjoined Nigerians to identify and register with the new party for a better Nigeria. Delta State Governor Sharif Oboreviri has charged the newly constituted State Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress, led by Chief Solomon Arenyaka, to begin immediate preparations for total victory in the 2027 general elections. Arenyeka emerged by consensus at the Delta APC State Congress held on Tuesday at the Cenotaph in Asaba with Elder Moses Idu as Deputy Chairman and Chief Efe Uko as Secretary. Also elected through consensus were Chief Paulinus Akbeki as Delta Central Chairman, Chief Emmanuel Ambaduba as Delta State Chairman, Delta South Chairman, beg your pardon, Mr. Daniel Osai as Delta North Chairman, Elder Emmanuel Egbagbo as State Organizing Secretary, Mr. Valentine Onodiego as State Publicity Secretary, Mrs. Ifenyinwa Sobotie as State Woman Leader, and Christopher Agali as State Youth Leader, among others. Chairman of the State Congress Electoral Committee, Mr. Vita Abba, who declared the new executive elected after the affirmation by delegates, said the process was conducted in line with the party's constitution and guidelines. The governor lauded the discipline of cooperation and resilience demonstrated by party members across the state and described the peaceful conduct of congresses in the 270 wards, 25 local government areas and the state as a testament to the APC's internal democracy. Management of University of Benin Teaching Hospital UBTH has raised alarm over the large number of unclaimed bodies in the hospital mortuary. Professor Adebola Ehizele, Deputy Chairman of the Medical Advisory Committee in charge of research and ethics, who disclosed this in Benin City, said the corpses have been in the hospital's mortuary since January 2023 up until June 2025, noting that the unclaimed corpses are about 462, out of which 350 are children. She said the management has given a grace of 6 weeks for the owners of the corpses to claim them, and that at the expiration of the deadline, the corpses will be disposed of through mass burial. A statement issued by the management of the hospital in February said the establishment had concluded plans to dispose of all unclaimed corpses in the hospital mortuary for a long time, and the corpses include those of adults, children, and infants that have been in the morgue since January 2023 up till June 2025. Cross River State House of Assembly has suspended the member representing Obubra 1 State Constituency, Dixon Agbo, indefinitely over alleged violent conduct. I beg your pardon. The resolution was reached on Thursday after a motion was moved by Davis Eta and seconded by Francis Basi Asokwo, condemning the alleged violent conduct involving Agbo, describing it as behavior unbecoming of a lawmaker and contrary to the ethical standards expected of members of the legislative arm of government. According to him, the House must take decisive steps to preserve the integrity and reputation of the. After the House resolved that Agbo be placed on indefinite suspension from all legislative activities pending further investigation into the allegation. The Assembly also approved the constitution of an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter and report its findings back to the House for further legislative action, while Agbo was escorted out of the chamber by the Sergeant at Arms in compliance with the directive of the House. Speaking on development, the Speaker of the House, Evert Ayambem, said the Assembly remained committed to upholding discipline, dignity and integrity of the legislature, stressing that members of the Assembly must conduct themselves in a manner that reflects the trust reposed in them by the people. After deliberations, the House resolved that Agbo be placed on indefinite suspension from all legislative activities and constituted a committee to investigate the matter and report its findings for further legislative action, adding that members must conduct themselves in a manner that reflects the trust reposed in them by the people. Eastern Naval Command of the Nigerian Navy has conducted harbor defense simulation training to boost troops' readiness to respond to harbor threats. The exercise, which was flagged off by the Flag Commission Officer commanding Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral Chidozie Okehie, was conducted at the Nigerian Navy ship NNS Victory Jetty in Calabar, Cross River State capital. Represented by the Chief Staff Officer Rear Admiral Stephen Ibrahim, he said the exercise, nicknamed Exercise Edikbeme Umuo, which means safe waters in Efik and Ibibio languages, was designed to practice harbor drills and emergency response procedures involving ships alongside NNS Victory and other support units within the command. During the exercise, the officers and ratings simulated various emergency scenarios such as defense station, action and emergency station drills involving the disruption and repelling of underwater saboteurs and man-overboard drills, and also attributed the recent successful rescue of 22 crew members on board MV Chim Express by NNS OSE to the frequent training exercises. He expressed the command's resolve to sustain the exercise to ensure its men are up to the task to respond to such emergency situations whenever the need arises, while the exercise drew participants from ships at Victory Jetty, Detachment of Special Boat Services, NNS Victory Gunboat Squadron, and Nigerian Navy Reference Hospital, amongst others. Minister of Federal Capital Territory Administration, Barrister Yesom Wike, has charged the Kuje Area Council Chairman-elect, Danjuma Samuel Shokolo, to always consult with the stakeholders before taking final decision in governance. The minister also promised the people of the area council that the 3 requests made by the chairman-elect would be considered by June. New administration in the FCT area councils will take off. The minister stated this on Thursday in Abuja during a thank you tour to the area council after the elections of chairman, and councillors in the FCT frowned at the betrayal attitude of the incumbent chairman of the area council, Abdullah Sabo, during the election, urging him not to fail in his new promise to support Tinubu's second-term bid.
Here on the spot, I told you that before I came, Mr. President has said, whatever the people want, give it to them. Today, you can see that Kuje Gwagwalada, which is about 16-17 kilometers, which is being handled by Gilmore Engineering, is going on very well. And we are praying to Almighty Allah that by June this year, Mr. President will also come here and inaugurate that road. That is one contract. That's what I've told our people, that politics is like a contract. Politics should be a covenant between those that are elected and those that elected them. It is not where our people will use us and tell us stories. At the end of the day, you will no longer see them. I saw him as an orphan. I saw him as if he had lost all hope. But I said, don't lose hope. As far as there's God, as far as well as administration, as far as was at home, now that the result has come, don't be an away chairman. And I know, working with me, if you're an away chairman, you'll be in trouble. Because I will let our people know that we have made a mistake. But I don't think we made a mistake. Continue with the way you are going. God, who has brought you this far, will make sure you complete very well.
Earlier, the chairman-elect of the area council, Danladi Samuel Shekwolo, pledged his area's council support for the second term of President Tinubu re-election.
Almighty, for this great privilege and opportunity that he has given to me and to us, the people of Kuje. Today, we have a new elected chairman for Kuje Area Council. I want to thank my leader, my mentor, my father, for this wonderful support he gave to us during the campaign and even the elections. Sir, it may interest you to know that this wouldn't have happened if divine God of Almighty God and His grace led you to give us this maximum support. We thank you very much, sir.
Also, Kuje traditional ruler, His Royal Highness Gomo of Kuje Haruna Tanko, has called the attention of the minister to the need of his people on provision of pipe-borne water and construction of Kuje Pegi and Kuje Abaji roads.
Therefore, I wish to humbly request that the Honorable Minister considers the construction of Kuje Pegi Road, the Kuje Abaji Road, to ease transportation to those areas, reduce security risk, and to give our farmers easy way of transporting the farm products to available markets. I wish to also call on the Honorable Minister to the fact that despite the proximity of Kuje to the city center and to the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Kuje Area Council is not in any way connected to the FCT water project. This is very important. We are solely rely on wells and boreholes for water supply here in Kuje. Finally, on behalf of the peace-loving people of Kuje Chiefdom, congratulate the FCT administration for the peaceful conduct of the just concluded area council elections and wish the Honorable Minister and his entourage God guidance in their way home.
Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, Joseph Miki, has pledged to address the long-standing land ownership grievances of the FCT indigenous population by ensuring they receive certificates of occupancy cease of all for their ancestral lands. Speaking in Abo Town Hall in Abuja during a thank you visit to the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, Miki said the President Bola Tinubu administration is committed to practical actions rather than the vague promises of opposition figures.
Now when you run this second term, make you not to say that now, you don't come carry us. Come sign an agreement with them. Because me too, I witness your own agreement with you. So I will watch you to make sure so you make your people happy.
Thank you, sir.
Everything that your people want, I will go there open for you. Come tell us. Now the only way you protect no chief. The youth will talk here about something very important. I know how land is. They are from a place where the city too. I will make sure I do everything possible. Not gonna against your phone to do.
Thank you, sir.
Because me too are from somewhere. But can I know? See, me I tell you already. Three people tell you already. Then they talk say when we go, we already tell you. Now you tell about these people now. They go say when we go. When you go, what you think? Not believe the people when they have the talk now. They say when you go, and then they wait for when you come. But I'm telling you what the people when they. Not so.
Wiki also said the current administration's approach is to recognize the people wherever they are, while urging FCT residents to be wary of political figures who only identify with the grassroots when seeking elective offices.
He does not want to have the minister of FCT who cannot go and interact with the people. He must have the minister of FCT who will go and find out from the people what did they want. We will not have ministers again that will sit in their office without knowing what the people of Keti want, without knowing what the people of Kabusa want, without knowing what people of Cherity want, without knowing what Wasa people want, without knowing what Saburu people want. I mean, is it not correct? Is it not correct? Nobody will tell me I have come to Abu and I told if you do so thing for us, we'll come back and tell you thank you. Today, we have come to tell you thank you. Vote for this social person. If you vote for social person, give you good governance. Part of good governance is give you projects and infrastructure. Is it not true? So you have to do your own part. Leave us to do our own. And today, I have got to start fulfilling our own part. Now, I have always emergency human rights activists. Be careful of emergency Democrats. Now look at it very well. You know me very well.
Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Joash Amupiton's son, to appear before it in March 10 to answer a contempt brought against him by the National Rescue Mission. Justice Obiora Egwatu fixed the date after counsel to INEC, M.S. Bawa sought an adjournment to enable him to secure the presence of the commission's chairman in court. Bawa told the court that Amupiton was unable to attend proceedings due to an emergency, adding that a counter affidavit had been filed challenging the competence of the contempt charge and urging the court to quash it. However, counsel to the NRM, Oladimeji Ekengba, insisted that the INEC chairman ought to have been physically present in court, stressing that contempt proceedings require the alleged contemnor to be in the dock while before adjourning the matter. Justice Egwatu directed that a fresh hearing notice be served on the INEC chairman. The court had earlier granted an order for substituted service of the contempt processes on him, while the party alleged that INEC and its chairman disobeyed the mandamus order issued by the court on March 5, 2025, which directed the commission to accept the outcome of an emergency convention that produced the Chief Edozie Njoku-led executive committee of the party. In an affidavit supporting the motion, the NRM maintained that INEC was fully aware of both the January 17, 2025 emergency convention and the court's judgment, noting that the commission's counsel was present when the ruling was delivered, while the matter was adjourned till March 10 for the INEC chairman to appear and for further proceedings in the contempt charge. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has expressed deep sorrow over the death of a former commissioner for finance and renowned academic, Professor Kabiru Dandago. Dandago reportedly died on Wednesday at the Aminu Kano Teaching Hospital after a brief illness. A statement by his spokesperson, Sunisi Dawakin Tofa, Yusuf described the late professor as a dedicated public servant and accomplished scholar whose contributions to education and governance left lasting footprints in Kano State. According to him, Dandago served the state with integrity and commitment, earning widespread respect for his professionalism, humility, and passion for knowledge, and further extended his condolences to the family of the deceased, the academic community, and the people of Kano State over what he described as an irreparable loss. The governor also prayed that our Almighty Allah forgive the shortcomings of the late Dandago and grant him Al-Janatul Firdaus, while giving his family and loved ones the fortitude to bear the loss. You're watching the Global News on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Do stay tuned. Welcome back. This is the Global News and Atlantic Television Network, and now to the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has declared a successful conclusion of a landmark settlement between the federal government of Nigeria, ENI, and Nigerian Ajib Exploration Limited, bringing an end to the long-standing OPL 245 dispute. The declaration was made at a meeting on Thursday in the President's office, attended by ENI executives, including CEO Claudio Descalzi, COO UD Brosco, and Head of Sub-Saharan Region Mario Bello. Alongside NAEL Managing Director Fabrizio Bolondi and the President's Special Advisor on Energy Oluvehejin, a statement issued by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy Bayo Onanuga, the agreement signed in Abuja resolves a dispute that has lasted over 15 years and restores clarity and stability to one of Nigeria's most commercially promising deepwater oil blocks. The statement said the development now clears the way for the final investment decision on the Zabazaba Etan development, a project expected to add about 150,000 barrels per day to the country's oil production, adding that the agreement is part of wider reforms since 2023 aimed at restoring Nigeria's competitiveness in global energy markets, attracting investment, and strengthening regulatory predictability. President Tinubu commended the institutions and stakeholders involved in achieving the settlement, including the Office of the Attorney General, the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission, NUPROC, NNPC Limited, and the leadership of ENI. President Bola Tinubu has suspended the cashless payment system at airport toll gates across the country following widespread gridlock that has caused passengers to miss their flights. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, declared the suspension on Wednesday after the Federal Executive Council meeting at the State House, Abuja, saying the President directed an immediate return to the status quo while a more efficient system is developed. He said the major reason for the suspension was to eliminate the gridlock at the Lagos and Abuja's airport toll gate, adding that the cashless system was introduced less than a week ago to eliminate corruption and optimize revenue collection at toll gates operated by the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria across the country. This is coming after for over 50 years, fine had collected cash from motorists at toll gates, parking lots, and other collection points at airports nationwide, while the transition to the cashless system created massive traffic congestion at airport access roads, with passengers reporting hours-long delays and missed flights. Kayam also said President Tinubu has directed the ministry to go back to the drawing board and perfect the system properly, warning that the process should not take too long, but assured that a hybrid system would be implemented temporarily, allowing both cash payments and use of fan cards already purchased by some motorists. The minister further said the federal government would engage private sector participants to develop a more efficient payment system that eliminates cash at the gates without causing traffic congestion. Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) says it is prosecuting Nigerian promoters of the collapsed crypto billion exchange CBEX over their involvement in the alleged multi-million-dollar Ponzi scheme. Speaking at a public hearing convened by the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, an EFCC representative, Mr. Dean White, said investigations traced over $46 million in stablecoin, US dollars in stablecoin to transactions to wallet identified as collection points operated by the scheme's promoters. According to him, although initial speculative figures were exaggerated, forensic blockchain analysis confirmed that over $46 million flowed into the identified wallets. Meanwhile, the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions convened deliberations on a bill seeking to amend the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act, BOFI, following a motion for an investigative hearing in the operations of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria with particular reference to the CBEX incident. Declaring the hearing open on behalf of the President of the Senate, Senate Leader Senator Obayemi Bamidele said stakeholder engagement was critical to strengthening legislation and restoring confidence in the nation's financial architecture. Senate leader in his remarks, Deputy Governor for Financial System Stability at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Philip Ekazo, welcomed key innovations in the proposed amendment, particularly the establishment of a registry for systemically important financial institutions. Senate has called for a stronger regulatory framework that would place the Central Bank of Nigeria at the center of supervising the country's fast-growing financial sector. The upper chamber also demanded tougher measures to curb the rising wave of Ponzi schemes across the country. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Banking, Insurance and Other Financial Institutions, Senator Mokai Adetokunbo Abiro, Lagos East. WHO disclosed this during a one-day public hearing at the National Assembly. Abuja said the hearing focused on banks and other financial institutions Amendment Act Bill 295 SB 959 and an investigative session into the operations of Ponzi schemes in Nigeria with particular reference to the recent crypto bullion exchange incident. The session was jointly organized by the Senate Committees on Banking, ICT and Cybersecurity, Capital Markets and Anti-Corruption and Financial Crimes, and the proposed amendment seeks to strengthen the existing legal framework under the Banks and Other Financial Institutions Act 2020 and provide a clear statutory basis for the designation, registration and supervision of systemically important institutions, particularly technology-driven financial service providers. According to him, the bill will amend BOFI 2020 to reflect the activities of Nigerian financial where fintech companies now process huge transaction volumes of sensitive financial data belonging to of Nigerians. The Senate said it would consider the memoranda submitted before making its final recommendations on the proposed amendment and related regulatory reforms. Senate Public Accounts Committee has called on the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) to refund 210 trillion naira over unexplained and irregular financial records between 2017 and 2023. Chairman of the committee, Aliyu Wadada, who disclosed the findings during a press briefing, said the company failed to clarify 103 trillion naira in accrued expenses and 107 trillion naira in sundry receivables. Senate Committee on Public Accounts, the committee has resolved to summon past and present NNPCL and ANAPIMS management, as well as their auditors, to explain the discrepancies and further urge the Auditor General to conduct a forensic audit of the company accounts to ensure transparency and proper management of public funds. House Ad hoc Committee investigating pre-shipment inspection on export and the non-remittance of crude oil proceeds has directed the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS), the Nigerian Ports Authority, Nigeria CBN, and the Nigerian Association of Chambers of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, NASIMA, to submit all documents requested by the committee regarding the investigation. Chairman of the committee, Honorable Shayi Showumi, gave the directive at the resumed investigative hearing in Abuja, and the directive followed submissions by representatives of the agencies before the committee, which he said was not up to date. Earlier, the agencies informed the committee on their separate rules regarding pre-shipment of oil and non-oil goods and commodities at export terminals. In her submission, DCG Caroline Diagwan, who represented the Comptroller General of Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) Bashir Adeni, said the service played a role in line with its Establishment Act and other extant laws of the country.
And it is not an electronic document sent to us. The ones we have are the ones that are sent to us manually. So if there were exports without that, we wouldn't know, because we don't have, if we had integrated with them in the area of an NXP form, they will be able to now know when an export has left without an NXP. And the NXP form is usually issued for exports that are about a certain amount of money. It's not for small exports, they are for very large exports.
States that money, that two accounts should be opened with central bank, one for the oil and the second one for the non-oil. Then the management of that particular account in terms of maybe approval, what goes into that should be done by Federal Ministry of Finance. What we do, we verify any claim that has to go into the account, pass it to of Finance for them to verify. That's what we do. Secretariat work, sir.
So the second thing again, in terms of the NXP, we don't send anything manually to the customer. The process is automated, and customs they latch onto that to get their body.
Earlier in his remarks, the chairman of the committee, Shayi Showumi, said the investigation is crucial to the nation as we help address some of the issues making the country lose the needed revenues through leakages, stress the need to account for every cover that accrues to the nation.
Where systems are weak, we will recommend reform. Where gaps in regulation exist, we will propose solution. And where wrongdoing is established, appropriate recommendation will be made in accordance with the law. The Nigerian people deserve clarity on how their resources are managed. They deserve assurance that every barrel exported improperly accounted for. And they deserve confidence that revenue due to the valuation are neither delayed, diverted, or not diminished through systemic lapses.
We're going to write to you to let you know after examining the documents submitted and give you a date to come back. The same thing applies to all the agencies. So we're going to write to you to ask you for a exact document that's needed. We're going to write you the second letter. Customer, are you there, please? Yeah. We're going to write you the second letter and give you a date to come. So please, all the documents that we're going to ask you, submit on time.
House of Representatives has threatened to invoke its constitutional powers to compel the appearance of the Bank of Industry following the bank's failure to honor its invitation. The warning came after BOI neither appeared at the committee's inaugural investigative hearing at the National Assembly nor submitted documents earlier requested by the House panel. Members of the committee, led by Honorable Mark Chidi of the institutions in extensive deliberations, scrutinizing their programs, funding framework intervention strategies and performance records from 2018 to date. During the session, the committee directed the National Agricultural Development Fund, NADF, to provide additional documentation, particularly comprehensive details of local interventions to farmers affected by the ginger blight disease outbreak, which significantly destroyed ginger production in parts of the country. Lawmakers stressed to understand the scale of financial support provided and the outcomes of such interventions. In his opening remarks, Chairman of the committee, Honorable Mark Chidi Obeta, clarified that the investigation is focused on strengthening transparency, accountability, and efficiency in the management of public intervention funds. According to him, the committee's mandate to examine how intervention funds and other public resources allocated to DFIs have been utilized, identify benefits, and assess the measurable impact of such interventions on Nigeria's economic development. The exercise forms part of the House's broader oversight responsibility to access how development finance interventions have been implemented and to determine their measurable impact on key sectors of the Nigerian economy, while the Central Bank of Nigeria and other relevant development finance institutions are expected to appear before the committee at the next adjourned sitting as the investigative hearing continues. Is considering new legislation to provide a comprehensive legal framework for Nigeria's national decarbonization program as part of efforts to strengthen the country's climate transition strategy and accelerate the shift towards a low-carbon economy. Speaker Honorable Abbas Tajuddin made this disclosure at the Stakeholders Technical Roundtable on the National Decarbonization Program held in Abuja. Chairman of the House Committee on Mandatory National Decarbonization, Honorable Seshi Wingan, said although Nigeria currently operates under the Climate Change Act of 2021, the proposed National Decarbonization Bill is intended to complement existing climate initiatives and reinforce the country's climate governance architecture. According to him, the bill has already passed its first and second readings in the House of Representatives and is expected to proceed to a public hearing before the end of the month as part of the legislative process. Wingan further said that the decarbonization campaign must go beyond policy discussions at the federal level and actively involve state government and grassroots communities across the country.
Around the world, recognition has come with a sense of urgency in the form of various complementary frameworks set in motion by the Paris Agreement of 2015, where 196 nations, including Nigeria, committed to nationally determined contributions to limit global warming. Our counterparts globally are acting, and we cannot sit on the sidelines. As one of the largest economies and the most populous nation in Africa, Nigeria consistently ranks among the most affected countries globally by extreme weather events.
The National Assembly is in its determination to complement the efforts of the executive arm of government in this regard. Have enacted several legislation in order to institutionalize a robust framework to drive the attainment of Nigeria's commitment towards a low-carbon economy. These legislative enactments include the National Climate Change Act 2021, the Electricity Act 2023, Petroleum Industry Act 2021, the National Environmental Standard and Regulations Enforcement Agency Act, and so on.
In their address, key stakeholders at the event said Nigeria is pushing toward decarbonization as a major opportunity to create, attract investment and diversify the economy.
The global transition to a low-carbon economy is one of the most significant economic transformations of our time. For Nigeria, this presents a profound challenge and historic opportunity. As a nation endowed with abundant natural and human resources, we have the potential to become a leader in sustainable development in Africa. However, realizing this potential requires a deliberate, strategic, and collaborative approach.
This legislative foundation is critical because climate action today must be viewed through the lens of climate justice. For Nigeria and other economies, climate justice means ensuring that our transition is low-carbon future, supports economic growth, strengthens energy security, and protects livelihoods. This principle aligns strongly with the renewed agenda of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu administration.
Decarbonization is a new field. Not many people know about what it means for different sectors. Not many people know how it creates jobs and how it brings opportunity into the Nigerian economy. And I've seen this. I'm Kenyan and I've seen this in Kenya, where there's a lot of opportunity around decarbonization. This is the same for Nigeria. And I think this is the start of something that's going to be very exciting for the Nigerian economy.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has held a strategic meeting with leaders of the African Democratic Congress from the Southeast and other prominent Igbo figures, signaling possible political collaboration ahead of the ADC presidential primary. Details of the meeting shared by the ADC in a statement described it as crucial in charting the party's strategic direction and potential alliances as the party prepares to navigate the 2027 presidential primaries. This is coming after INEC declared a revised electoral schedule with presidential and National Assembly elections now slated for January 16, 2027, while governorship and state assembly elections will hold on February 6. A statement by the National Commissioner and Chairman of INEC's Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Haruna, said the Commission approved the revised timetable and schedule of activities following changes in electoral law, including the resolution of disputes arising from primaries, and will commence on April 23, 2026 and conclude by May 30, 2026. INEC further said political parties are required under the Electoral Act 2026 to submit 82 membership registers at least 21 days before any primary congress or convention. Non-compliance, the Commission warned, could result in disqualification from fielding candidates. Former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi says Nigeria's poverty problem is not about a lack of resources, but about the choices it has made in the celebration of corrupt leaders. He said a nation blessed with oil, gas, and a large energetic population should celebrate leadership and a culture that rewards transparent leadership and good governance. Obi spoke in Abuja while receiving the leadership of the Association of Skilled and Vocational Artisans of Nigeria, ASVAN, led by its national president, Comrade Obijuru Everest, during a court visit. He compared Nigeria with Indonesia, which he described as similar in size and population, but doing better economically because of stronger leadership and clearer priorities. Earlier, Everest said ASVAN had been following Obi's political journey and believed it was important to identify with and support his aspirations to move the country forward. He also said ASVAN has coordinators across the 36 states and represents more than 2 million skilled and unskilled artisans, as pushing for a bill to the National Assembly to formalize, recognize, and regulate the artisan sector nationwide. And that's the global news for tonight. Before we go, another look at the major stories. Rivers State Assembly inaugurates newly elected lawmakers. Senate orders CBN to supervise financial technology sector. Reps orders BOI's appearance, warns against absence. FEC approves asset company to fix transmission. President demand apology from Iran over drone strikes. CAF postpones WAFCON 2026 for tournament to July. Politics is service, not career, actor Oworu. I am Favor, Chief Question Michael. Thank you for watching. You can follow us on our social media platforms on Twitter, now X, at Atlantic TV Network, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, and on Instagram at Atlantic Television Network. And don't forget, peace and unity are the pathways to progress. To have a wonderful night rest.
The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 Anniversary Celebration Lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
From the line across the